'Twas the night before Labor Day in Brooklyn, New York. Labor Day means carnival, and the night before carnival means Juve. Juve, a massive street dancing festival held before carnival, typically where there's a high population of West Indians. And every year you can catch me whining with all my fellow bacchanalists. We paint all the facets of our culture onto Eastern Parkway, first generations and the immigrants. We put aside our age differences and get lit. And no female's waistlines are safe from daggering. Defined by the internet as a dance that incorporates sexual acts, as well as simulating them, which may be fun, but it's also extremely true. This Juve morning, I move these hips with a little bit of rhythm I have. One of my favorite songs to dance to is called Bend Over, and it goes a little something like, bend over and don't look back, bend over and don't look back. This Juve morning, I move these hips with a little bit of rhythm I have. My waistline follows, boyfriend or not, I am in my element. After a long night of dancing, I'm scrolling down my timeline. Senior year, finna start tomorrow. Finally listening to Blonde, Frank Ocean, thank you. Tiara Poyu allegedly killed during Juve after telling man to stop grinding her. Long headlines never seem to capture the essential facts of what happened. Tiara Poyu, 22 years old, graduate student at St. John's. They say the shooter was drunk, too inebriated to remember what he did, but her rejection tore through his serotonin, searing past reason and rationality. Fragile masculinity began to produce histamines. Histamines flooded the capillaries in the brain tissue. I've attempted to decipher his drunken thoughts. I think they sound a little something like this. She said no. Does she not know that this penis is power inherited from God? God, no death, ain't no suffix taking away from my divine right to have a piece of that ass. Her paper knees were made to bend to me, curvy body malleable so I could origami her body to mesh with mine. He shot her in the eye and the bullet exited through the back of her skull, penetrated her mind in the most irreversible way, left her laying in the street. They always want us laying down. I guess when a woman's purpose isn't your pleasure, you have no choice but to silence her. Slice up her tongue, pour acid down her throat, so that when she speaks, it'll always sound like a misogynist's favorite lullaby. I can picture him loading up his weapon before he left home that night, in between drowning his intricate fragilities into shot glasses. He said the gun was for protection. Protection. If you think about it, penises were the first guns, quick to shoot semen, and after shooting men are quicker to run with no consequences. I wonder if Tiara saw him for who he was, his hypermasculine facade dying, making a casualty of the only witness. I wonder if she had time to regret rejection, or time to realize that being born with XX chromosomes was her real death sentence. Every now and then, I think about what would have happened if that had been me. If my mother were to have to hear that her daughter, once whole, would become a box of bones because a man she didn't know thought consent a foreign language, would she be proud of me for saying no? Would she have rather I bent down to their level if it meant she could have me back in their arms? Would she tell me that to survive a Labor Day in Brooklyn, a female must simply bend over and don't look back, bend over and don't look